Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make the best homemade salsa. This is as good, I think better than the restaurants. So the first thing you want to do is take a nice orange habanero pepper, and I just cut this up in pieces before I throw it into my blender. Now for this one I'm going to put one in, and this should be good for about 2 to 3 jars of salsa and give it a really good spice. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm taking a large yellow onion, and I'm just going to take half of this onion and I'm going to chop it up and put it in the blender as well. Now with the habanero pepper, if you don't want your salsa very spicy, then you can actually slice it open and you can scrape out the seeds and the spine. Make sure, if you want to get the spice out, that you slice out that spine, because that's where a lot of the spice is in your pepper. And then next I'll be adding some cilantro, and this was kind of a small bunch, so I put the entire bunch of cilantro in. The next thing I'll be adding is some minced garlic, and I don't mince my own garlic. I also do not boil down my own tomatoes. So I do buy the minced garlic in a jar, and I put in about 1.5 spoons. And then once I'm done with that, I am going to be adding whole peeled tomatoes, and there's nothing else in this can. There's no preservatives or anything. It's just whole peeled tomatoes. I do drain the juice off of one can, and then the second can, and these are the large cans, and the second can I leave just a little bit of juice in the bottom. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. And I'll be putting 2 cans of tomatoes in my blender. Once I have those in there, I'm just going to sort of push them down with a spoon, or you can use your fingers, whatever's easiest for you, unless you have a blender larger than mine. So once I have all of those ingredients in, then I'm going to go ahead and put the top on, and my blender is sort of upside down. My Ninja blender goes on top of the pitcher itself. So what I start off doing is pulsing a few times to get those large chunks cut up, and then I go ahead and blend. Now I'm not fully blending this yet. I'm just getting it blended really well, and then I will be adding some Fiesta garlic salt, and I prefer the Fiesta brand just because I think it has the perfect blend of salt and garlic. And then I'll be adding some black cracked pepper, and I just add this to taste. I just give it a few cranks. Once I've added that, then I'm ready to go ahead and blend this up as much as I want it blended. And you can blend this however you want to. If you want your salsa chunky, or you want it, extra smooth. I like mine pretty much the consistency of what you would get at a Mexican restaurant. And if you have any chunks in there, you can go ahead and pulsate a few times and then go back to blending. Once that's done, I will be putting this in a pan on the stove on low heat, and I will be simmering this with the lid on for about 10 minutes, and I will be occasionally stirring, preferably with a wooden spoon if you have one. Now I am going to be putting some of this in some jars that I have on hand that I reuse. So I did end up going back and making another pitcher of this and adding it to this and making a bigger batch, which you can make as small or large of a batch as you want. Once this is done simmering, I usually pop this in the fridge just for it to cool down because my pitcher is plastic and I don't want to burn it. And right now I don't can yet. I don't have the supplies to do that, but hopefully in the future. So what I do is I just spoon this into my pitcher after my pitcher is all rinsed out, and I use my pitcher to pour it into my jars. And I put it in jars because I do have some friends that like this salsa, and so I make salsa for them as well. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you try making the salsa because it is truly amazing. And get your favorite chips, dip in there, and please come back and see me, and I hope you have a blessed day.